Going live. All right. All right. If you're watching this as a rerun, you can skip ahead 10 minutes, 10, 11 minutes, and we can go from there. Happy Saturday. What else is going on? See if I can get all my stuff ready to go here. That's ready. That's super loud in my ear. Morning, Waylon. What's happening here? I'll call you Jesse in a little bit. Yeah. You like the shirt? Caucasians, baby. Morning, Mike. Magic Mike. Yikes. Justin's back. Cool. If you run into him, tell him I said howdy. Mr. Bulgy, good morning. One shot, good morning. Bring back the Cleveland Indians. How about just a team called the Caucasians? Wouldn't that work? Dave. Morning, Karen. Happy belated. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Just so everybody's clear, I'm still younger than Shannon Schreiner, so that's all that really matters. Let's see here. I get my clock going here. Okay, today's the International Day of Yoga, so there you go. There you have it. Let's see. I got a branding this morning. Ooh. I'm gonna be cutting that one tight. Mr. Booth, good morning. It is like wicked foggy out here this morning. So this was the first for me seeing this yesterday at Ryan Jacobson's branding. The wrestling crew that he hired to wrestle the Cavs were the girls wrestling team out of Beach. And I wouldn't say that I doubt any one of these gals weighed over 100 pounds. I mean, they were tiny. It was the first time wrestling Cavs for them ever. They learned quick. They with the right technique. When they finally got their technique down, it was pretty cool. So it's kind of a neat thing. Let's see, Josh. Morning, Scott. The kids and I are headed out to shoot ground squirrels. Kill them all, man. We rounded up in a prairie dog town yesterday. And hey, that thing, it's on federal land. So there was not on that town. Nobody was shooting there, but the surrounding towns. Yeah, that's a little nerve wracking when you're rounding up and you hear gunshots all around you. Hoping that they hit. Good day to have survived last night's weather. 45 miles south of Jamestown. Tornado killed 3 people near Enderlin. It did. Wow. I seen TikTok videos. Holy moly, it blew up with nothing but that. Yeah, it's just crazy, man. Okay, stations. I'll give you the 7 a.m. time check. 8 Central. It is 7 o'clock on Mark. So I seen that. We got 400ths of rain when I got back from branding, putting the horse away, and that was about it. Otherwise, again, we didn't get nothing. Got some wind out of the deal, but that's like every day. It's like everyday stuff here. Fair enough.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just seen your message.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, so there you go. Tornado in Jamestown, man. Or around that area, I guess.
Yeah, there was a few of them.
Was there? There's more than one.
It seems to be the only one that did anything like that.
I got to pull up my maps here.
90 some mile an hour winds between Wilton and Washburn. A couple pictures from some people. A couple structures pretty tore up. Giant pine tree in Wilton. At least one tipped over in a guy's yard, didn't hit his house. So, yeah, it's been an interesting week between Hettinger on Monday, Sunday night, Monday morning, and now last night. And
yeah, you get to have fun turning in claims, huh?
Yeah, it's been a little busy. A couple of our offices.
Yeah. Yeah, that's when you see the storm chasers with their tornado mounted vehicles heading through Bowman and Rame, you know something's going down.
Yeah, it's not good.
Oh. Jay Berg says his sister by Mayville got hit pretty hard last night. So, yeah. Okay. There you go. What else is going on? I heard heard fishing slow up Secaucus.
Oh, it is. I just sent you two pictures of two different trees in Wilton that were down.
Well, I got the pictures from Jay's sister's place here. Take a look at that. Ripped off most of the roof there. And tipped this over. Good grief.
I can't see if you're showing something online, by the way.
Oh, you're not watching on TV? Okay.
No, not yet.
Oh, it uprooted the big tree. Holy cow. Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting. See what the amount of damage is when they get it all tallied up.
Yeah.
I do question some of the videos I'm seeing online anymore because
right.
AI, anything can be AI driven now and made up.
I know.
Okay, where are we at here? A couple minutes to showtime. Campers are tipped over at Harmon Lake, Wayland says. Okay. Yeah, must have had plenty of wind. Are you there, man, or what? What's going on?
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds like you're going in and out of a tunnel.
In and out of a crapper.
Oh. That heat and humidity on Thursday and a lightning-filled thunderhead cloud. Some bad stuff was brewing, yeah. Well, the one on Thursday that went through Dickinson, a tornado between Southart and Dickinson. I saw that cloud from our bull pasture. I was like, I hope that's not headed this way, and it wasn't. But they had a tornado that way too.
Yep.
Thursday. Yeah. Oh, I better keep my eye on the time here.
Yeah, I'm just getting some coffee wound up, and I'm going to get the TV on so I can
50 seconds.
see comments.
Morning, Eric.
Okay. Go ahead and mute me for a minute here till you're ready.
Done. Let's see what else. It's like really foggy. It's coming in thicker right now. All right, 30 seconds of showtime stations. 30 seconds on mark. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Saturday edition of Dakota Prairie Outdoors, heard all across the Dakota Territory and great radio stations like KCJB up in Minot, North Dakota, K-Fire 550 celebrating 100 years, Bismarck, Mandan, KLTC on the Western Edge in Dickinson, also at 106.9. Good to have you along here this morning. My South Dakota affiliates, the fishing capital of the world at KOLY, Mobridge, and of course, Capital City in Pierce, South Dakota, KGFX. Thank you guys for tuning in and having fun on a live Saturday morning, ready to go here. And I welcome my guest here, Jesse Flath from Western Frontier Insurance. Are you going to be busy with all the storms that went through the areas or what?
Yeah, there's going to be a little bit of stuff to do.
How does one, I know the NRA, if you're a member, I think you don't you have to be a life member, but the NRA has insurance for your firearms, probably covering easier than just some other places to try to find insurance coverage on firearms.
Yeah, I haven't looked into their policy in a long time, but they used to have a firearms policy through a company called Lockton. And the advantage to their policy 15 years ago was that you just gave a blanket amount and you didn't have to give serial numbers and all that. You just had coverage for your guns. It was more geared towards people with lots of firearms and
collectors. Yeah.
Collectors. And I mean, we know guys that aren't collectors that have 50, 60, 70 guns, you know,
right.
They're collectors, but they're newer guns and they still kind of use them all. And we also got guys we know that have 500-600 guns that most of them have never been shot. They're literally collectors. So yeah, I don't know if the NRA still has that program or not. I'm guessing they do, but there's a couple of other companies out there that do something like that as well. It's quite expensive to just put it on your regular homeowners or farm owners policy. So you're way better off buying a really big safe, bolting it to the floor, and having them in there. Price, expense-wise.
One of our friends that we know, when he built a new house, his entire basement is a safe. He built it with, it's got safe doors on it. It's, what was it? Is it 5 foot thick cement or what? I mean, it's just crazy how he built it, but some people are getting into that. So, and the reason I'm bringing this up is for the South Dakota listeners down in that area, there was a string of tornadoes going across North Dakota yesterday. And there were some, I got a message from one of the guys. He says 3 people were killed near Enderlin, North Dakota because of the tornadoes. Tim says National Storm Chaser on YouTube was broadcasting near Jamestown of a big tornado as a touchdown and destroyed Spiritwood Farmstead. And truck axles landed on the road. The family did survive it, though, so that's good news. But when a person has these storms, and it seems like they're coming across here this whole week, we've had tornadoes up, closer even to the ranch here. What does a person need to do for fire, and especially the people that don't want to give, their serial numbers to anybody? They don't feel anybody needs to know how many firearms they have. But what happens if a storm does come through and you want to try to have coverage? You got to tell them what you lost, right? I mean, if you do have coverage, what's the easiest way to go about that?
Well, on your normal homeowners or farm owners policy, you have coverage for your firearms for a storm type situation because they are contents of your home. Okay. So it's part of the contents coverage, but one of the unfortunate things about how insurance works is your contents coverage on your homeowners or farm owners policy, when that storm comes through or that fire happens and your house is gone, you have a number on your policy that tells you how much coverage you've got for your contents. And it's a coverage up to that amount for contents. And you literally have to provide a list of what you had. It gets tough.
Yeah.
You know, the old adage was to take a video camera and video the inside of your house and put that video in a safe deposit box or at the neighbor's, well, maybe not the neighbor's house, grandma's house, somebody a little ways away. You know, tornado take a whole neighborhood out sometimes. But now, man, with modern technology and cell phones and the cloud storage and Facebook pictures, and I would say the majority of people have, whether they know it or not, have a lot of pictures of the inside of their house.
Right.
But even, you know, as far as guns go, I haven't done it for a long time. Every few years, I try to take everything out of the safe, clean the safe up, lay it all out on table, blanket, floor, somewhere, and just get a couple snapshots of what I have, so that if something happens, if I have a long sustained fire or something weird happens and my safe is gone, at least I know what I had to put on the list.
Right.
You know?
How about like archery equipment too? I mean, some of these bows right now, like I have a couple bows in the basement, and they're pretty spendy. I mean,
they're not free anymore, are they?
No, they're pretty expensive. Plus, you know, look at all the ammo that I have stored, and
Yep.
you know, and Wayne says here you can list guns as personal articles if your insurance allows them. So I didn't know.
Yes, you can. You can list them specifically. So let's say a storm comes through and you've got a 30-06. They're going to give you whatever a new 30-06 costs. Now, if you've got some Model 70 featherweight walnut grade 1, something special,
Yeah,
you're probably going to want to schedule that on your inland marine and pay the extra premium, and then they're going to give you what that gun's actually worth. But you're going to have to give serial numbers. You're going to have pictures of it. It's a process. So yeah, it's possible. But a lot of people either, like you said, don't want the world to even know they have one, let alone 100.
yeah,
Or they just don't want anybody to know anything. You know, I still have people that won't give me their social security number and driver's license number. I have to have it or I can't write your insurance.
yeah. Well,
you know,
Gene Cox down in Mobridge. Good morning, by the way. What if one of my guns is a model that's not made, hasn't been made in over a century? Who determines that value? Is it just a big blue book or what?
yeah, there's a book, or they'll call the adjuster will contact Cabela's. They got the Cabela's Collectibles Cave or whatever they call it, where they have the nice guns and that deal. They'll call a facility like that and find out what one of those is worth. You know, but there again, now we're talking collector status. Gene, if you've got some of them guns, and I know you do, and some of them you use and some of them you don't, that might be something you want to get listed on your policy, or get one of those NRA policies that gets you some blanket firearms coverage.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, I look at some of this. I wasn't interested in really collecting rifles and going after those collectible models until I interviewed Jake Wagner here a couple of last week. And, you know, he got me all excited about, you know, the gun that won the West, or, you know, a good old Colt old single army, you know. It would be kind of fun now. Now I'm looking at that. Maybe it's just my age, Jesse. Maybe it's because I just had a
guns that have a story.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So what would that one rifle be for you if you had unlimited funds?
Man, I don't know if I have a collectible type rifle that tickles my fancy. I guess we've talked about that on the show before, about you had one ultimate deer rifle, what would you want? And that's even an impossible question for me to answer. I don't know.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, the one round. If you
so much cool stuff.
Yeah, Jamie and I went through that too. If you had one round, what would that one round be? Universal round, and he always picks the 223 because ammo is available and what have you. But I said, I don't know. It'd be tough for me to just pick without one. You know, I mean, if you're going to go from plinking prairie dogs to shooting elk, and that would be tough. But anyway, we'll cover more coming up on the second half of the program. Open lines Saturday. Feel free to call in.
Agriculture is a community of hard work, passion, optimism for the future, and a commitment to the livestock and land. For over 80 years, Dakota Community Bank and Trust has been a leader in ag financing. Our local lending team knows the industry and the challenges, from droughts to winter blizzards. Stop by one of our branches today in your work boots or cowboy boots. You're always welcome.
Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Equal housing lender.
Bowman Livestock Marketing, serving the tri-state area for all of your livestock marketing needs. Eastern Montana, North Dakota, and South Dakota. You can be sure of great care for your cattle and top price at sale time. Call Austin Snook at 307-290-2161. That's 307-290-2161 for more information or just to talk cattle markets. You can also find them on Facebook and go to their website, BowmanLivestockMarketing.com. There's a reason you're seeing more Red Angus cattle in the country. Great mama cows, high weaning weights, and easy keepers. With a family that bases their entire operation on faith, honesty, and trust. You can see those values in their 30-plus years in the Red Angus breed. Schriefer Red Angus, the breed that generates a positive return on investment. SchrieferRedAngus.com.
Join Pfeiffer's Auctioneers for any one of our farm retirement and heavy equipment auctions across the region, including the Myers Estate Auction in Perham, Minnesota on June 27th, the Dugan and Rittberger Estate Equipment Auction in Buffalo Gap, South Dakota on July 9th, the Len Sadler Memorial Classic Car Auction in Bowman, North Dakota on July 26th, and the Loken Retirement Equipment Auction in Albany, Minnesota on July 31st. And don't forget to consign your items now for the Upper Midwest Equipment Auction on August 18th. Complete inventory, details, and online bidding on dozens of land and equipment auctions throughout the Upper Midwest, all at Pfeifers.com.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Freedom Repair. Whether it's a tractor, baler, your cutter, your combine, or air seeder, Freedom Repair comes to you and helps you get fixed up and back in the field. 19 plus years experience. Give Lucas Kelly a call at 701-440-1945. That's 701-440-1945. Freedom Repair, veteran owned and operated. MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Morest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer. Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy. Western Frontier Insurance, agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or talking animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered with price in mind. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, Wilton, Bowman, and Hettinger.
I'm Dale Paulke with Dakota Community Bank and Trust, your trusted partner in ag lending. With our deep understanding and appreciation for the Western way of life, we proudly accept, respect, and promote the values that define our community. Whether you're a farmer, rancher, or business owner, we are here to support your financial needs and help you thrive. Choose Dakota Community Bank and Trust for all your banking needs.
At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Equal housing lender.
Bowman Livestock Marketing, serving the tri-state area for all of your livestock marketing needs. Eastern Montana, North Dakota, and South Dakota. You can be sure of great care for your cattle and top price at sale time. Call Austin Snook at 307-290-2161. That's 307-290-2161 for more information or just to talk cattle markets. You can also find them on Facebook and go to their website, BowmanLivestockMarketing.com.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that
Welcome back, everybody. Good to have you along here on a Saturday morning on the Dakota Prairie Outdoors. Scott Bachmeyer here, and a beautiful Saturday here at the ranch this morning. We got a fog blanket rolled in here, and it feels a little muggy on the outside here. Jesse Plath is with Western Frontier Insurance, is sitting here with me here as we talk a little bit about insurance on your firearms. You know, during the break we were discussing a few things like Dead Wolf Resistance this message, put our guns on a list. I don't think so. You know, so there are folks that don't want to put any of this or have anybody know what they have. But if you do have a fire or tornado comes through or something happens, you're not going to get paid if you don't have anything listed, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you've got collector firearms, they're going to have to be listed. If you even if you have that fire or tornado that we talked about after the fact, you're getting paid for your contents. You know, them guns are gone anyway. If you don't put them on that list along with your socks and shoes and kitchen table and dishes and art and TVs and couches and everything else you're going to get paid for, you don't put them on that list, they're not getting paid.
Well, how about if a tornado rips through the ranch house here, okay? And, you know, you see how some of these winds, I mean, they carry things a long ways. What if they take half of the guns that I want to get coverage, I can't find? Like you said, if there's a fire, you know, there's going to be something left over, or a barrel or something that you can have proof. How about a tornado? Say I have all my guns listed on everything. They have the serial numbers. 50 of them are gone. I can't find them. They're in a draw somewhere over in a canyon in the Badlands. I have no idea where they're at.
Yeah, that's where the pictures come in, you know, having some sort of proof of when you bought it, when you won it, something. You know, are they going to make you provide proof for all of it? I don't know. That's going to be a adjuster to adjuster and company to company.
Yeah.
You know, I had an insured that had a shop burned down years ago, and they wanted some receipts for. He made a list, but then they wanted receipts for as much of the stuff that he could find when he bought it. Well, he didn't have receipts for all the hand tools and every screwdriver and everything he had, you know. But then, so they paid him the certain amount of it, and then as he repurchased some of the bigger items that he didn't have receipts for, we provided receipts from the new stuff, and them checks kept coming, you know, until we ran out of limits. So yeah, it's a contents coverage on a policy is not a fun thing to go through a loss.
No,
it isn't.
Doesn't sound like it. Jay texted a question here to me. He says, if you list those guns with your insurance agent, does that stay confidential with the insurance, or can the feds gain access to that information? Good question.
No idea.
Don't know. Okay. Because if I go through and I give you a list and say, I want a separate coverage just on these firearms, and you put all that information into the system, you know, it might be out there, right? I mean, there's potential of somebody else knows what you got.
It's definitely in my computer at my office, and it's definitely in the computer at the insurance company that you're insured with.
Right.
You know, where that can be shared with or can't be shared with, I don't know. You know, there's a lot of things that when we sign applications, there's a lot of privacy things that are on there, this, that, and the other thing. But you know as well as I do, if something's going down and crimes are committed and the FBI shows up with a letter from a bench warrant from a judge, they're going to look at anything they want to.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that very well could be seen at some point, but are they going to just go start scouring insurance records to see who has guns? Come on, Jay.
They probably won't. Yeah. Or, you know, it depends. I mean, look what happened in, was it Minnesota here over the last week? That somebody went and shot some people or some legislators or something like that. And
yeah, Minnesota, they went dressed up as a cop and walked right up to the front door and knocked on their door and opened it up and shot the wife and the husband. They were both legislators. Okay. And then attempted to do it to another one and got caught.
Isn't that? Yeah. So there's some whack jobs out there, man. Really is.
Yep.
701 Nation says the feds can probably get any information they want. He also says that the 223 is God's cartridge. Now, I don't know when Jamie had the chance to speak to him to ask him this question because I didn't see it on any one of his shows that he does to know that that's God's cartridge or not. I don't know that. So I think,
yeah.
You and I are discussing that too during the break. You said you'd probably pick a 243 if you'd only be able to have one gun, and that's a tough one for me. I don't know what it would be. I'd probably go with a 270. I just like that round. When I first got that rifle way back in the day, and I should actually pull that rifle out one of these days and use it again.
I have a question for you. You always give me these questions that there's no real answer to.
Okay.
Got a question for you. If you had one choice of a fishing lure that you could use forever from now forward, what would it be?
From here on forward, what would it be? So I'd probably want something I could use on the boat and from shore. So I'd probably use maybe like a jig and wrap or something on that side of things is what I'd probably go with.
Jig and wrap? I didn't expect that from you.
How about you?
Oh man, I'm thinking just either a bear hook because you can dress it up with all kinds of things, or just a regular old jig. I mean, you can throw a jig from shore, you can trail it behind the boat, you can throw it in a river off a boat or off a shore. Ooh, Wayne, good one. Red and white Daredevil. That used to be the lure. That's awesome. No, I had a good discussion. In fact, I'm kind of worried about this guy. If he's listening, shoot me a text and let me know you're okay. Brian Holland, a good fisherman, fishes in a lot of these tournaments up here. His boys are all outdoorsmen. Saw him in Shields yesterday when I was down in Bismarck, and we kind of looked at a couple of the big bargain bins that are just full of lures that are on sale, and he made a good observation. A lot of crankbaits on clearance. I wonder if the cranks and stuff are kind of losing their luster with all the new technology and forward-facing sonar and 360 sonar, and are guys getting more into this pitching jigs and using vertical jig wraps and stuff, and the crankbaiters are kind of becoming a bygone thing right now just because of technology. I don't know. That was an interesting thing Brian noticed. Yeah.
Yeah, I never
he brought that up.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, the technology right now for fishing is, I mean, you look at what you and I are just playing with here during the tournaments that we do, and if we would have had that technology, 20 years ago, we'd have been considered the fancy pants. Now we're still behind because now, I mean, like you said, the 360, the live scopes, and everything else is just crazy what they have.
Yeah, it's a whole new world. They've even talked about. We've talked about that in the show last year, probably already. That a lot of these tournaments are starting to set up rules that only one live scope is allowed on the boat.
Is that right?
There's some tournaments out there that have limited the technology that you can have on your boat to try to keep it fair, because let's face it, it's expensive. So they're trying to keep it equal, fair for the common man. And you and I have talked about that with coyote tournaments, digital range-finding scopes and range-finding binoculars and all the technology that's available to you out there, whether it's hunting or fishing. It's a big deal.
It's an interesting comment that you made that it's becoming an expensive thing. I always thought growing up, the cheapest thing to ever do is fishing. And maybe you can still do that, right? You can still find the old Zebcos and
I would say a $50 Z33 package from Runnings, and
exactly.
Worms.
Go out and dig some worms up and go fishing. So you can have but I mean, if you really want to get out there and do it like on the big waters or Devil's Lake, I had a guy Snapchat me out of nowhere. He was up fishing Devil's Lake. I asked him how it was, and he said it was really slow. So, but if you're going to go in the big waters like that, you're going to need to either hire somebody to take you out or know somebody that's got a boat or go buy your own. But it's definitely not cheap anymore. Those boats, man, they can't spend you anymore. It's crazy.
We'll talk about that, and then we got a couple questions.
Yep.
I see Wayne on the screen here to ask a question. We'll get to that after break, Wayne, and I'll kind of let you know what happens there. You asked about deer mounts.
Yeah, and we'll cover what's going on there, and it's all coming up on the second half of the program. Dakota Prairie Outdoors is heard all across the Dakota Territory. Back after these.
Agriculture is a community of hard work, passion, optimism for the future, and a commitment to the livestock and land. For over 80 years, Dakota Community Bank and Trust has been a leader in ag financing. Our local lending team knows the industry and the challenges, from droughts to winter blizzards. Stop by one of our branches today in your work boots or cowboy boots. You're always welcome.
Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Equal housing lender.
Bowman Livestock Marketing, serving the tri-state area for all of your livestock marketing needs. Eastern Montana, North Dakota, and South Dakota. You can be sure of great care for your cattle and top price at sale time. Call Austin Snook at 307-290-2161. That's 307-290-2161 for more information or just to talk cattle markets. You can also find them on Facebook and go to their website, BowmanLivestockMarketing.com. There's a reason you're seeing more Red Angus cattle in the country. Great mama cows, high weaning weights, and easy keepers. With a family that bases their entire operation on faith, honesty, and trust. You can see those values in their 30-plus years in the Red Angus breed. Schriefer Red Angus, the breed that generates a positive return on investment. SchrieferRedAngus.com.
Join Pfeiffer's Auctioneers for any one of our farm retirement and heavy equipment auctions across the region, including the Myers Estate Auction in Perham, Minnesota on June 27th, the Dugan and Rittberger Estate Equipment Auction in Buffalo Gap, South Dakota on July 9th, the Len Sadler Memorial Classic Car Auction in Bowman, North Dakota on July 26th, and the Loken Retirement Equipment Auction in Albany, Minnesota on July 31st. And don't forget to consign your items now for the Upper Midwest Equipment Auction on August 18th. Complete inventory, details, and online bidding on dozens of land and equipment auctions throughout the Upper Midwest, all at Pfeifers.com.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Freedom Repair. Whether it's your tractor, baler, your cutter, your combine, or air seeder, Freedom Repair comes to you and helps you get fixed up and back in the field. 19 plus years experience. Give Lucas Kelly a call at 701-440-1945. That's 701-440-1945. Freedom Repair, veteran owned and operated. MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Morest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer. Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy. Western Frontier Insurance, agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or talking animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered with price in mind. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, Wilton, Bowman, and Hettinger.
I'm Dale Falke with Dakota Community Bank and Trust, your trusted partner in ag lending. With our deep understanding and appreciation for the Western way of life, we proudly accept, respect, and promote the values that define our community. Whether you're a farmer, rancher, or business owner, we are here to support your financial needs and help you thrive. Choose Dakota Community Bank and Trust for all your banking needs.
At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Equal housing lender.
Bowman Livestock Marketing, serving the tri-state area for all of your livestock marketing needs. Eastern Montana, North Dakota, and South Dakota. You can be sure of great care for your cattle and top price at sale time. Call Austin Snook at 307-290-2161. That's 307-290-2161 for more information or just to talk cattle markets. You can also find them on Facebook and go to their website, BowmanLivestockMarketing.com.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that
And welcome back, everybody. Good to have you along here on Saturday morning, live on your local radio station. The only free thing you'll probably do the whole day today is right here and listening to the radio. Jesse Flath from Western Frontier Insurance is with me here after a string of storms slammed across the state of North Dakota. We're talking about what do we need to cover some of this contents that we have of firearms, hunting equipment, clothing, and I totally spaced this up. But yeah, Wayne says, how would you insure, or how do you insure your deer mounts? Or maybe like Levi Nelson's over in Africa right now, and he sent a picture. He got, I think, a kudu or something. I mean, how do you do that with these mounts? Is there value on them?
Yeah, that's one of the kind of the saddest in my mind things is you've got insurance for that mount as contents, but what you've got insurance for is the cost of the mount. So if that kudu costs him $1,500 to get mounted, that's my guess. I haven't had to turn one of those in, but from what I've researched, that's what they're going to pay you for, is the cost of the mount. The trip, the hunt, the tag, the once-in-a-lifetime elk you might have hanging in your house, and you're not going to get another one of those North Dakota tags, and that's irreplaceable. So, you know, if you're somebody that has a lot of mounts in your house, get a hold of somebody like Wayne. Get them measured. Get a good documentation of what that thing looks like. So if it's the trophy deer of your life and something does happen to it, they can make replicas. They can 3D print horns. They can get a hide and a body and a mount body and make it for you again. It's not going to be the original one. You know, fish. A lot of guys aren't even keeping their original fish. Someone catches a 13-pound walleye in the lake and they want to get a mount. They're having a replica made because they last. You don't have to fix them. You don't have to redo them. Fish are really hard. They deteriorate over time, no matter how good of a job you do. So they will measure them. They will get tons of pictures, and they will make a replica mount, and they can airbrush paint them. It looks exactly like that fish that you got, the exact same dimensions, but it's not real fish skin. So I mean, there's
never
ways around it.
I'd never thought about the 3D printing thing. So, which kind of, it's like AI anymore. Can you really trust what you see online, or is it AI generated, right? So somebody can tell me if they have the money to do a replica, say they got a biggest walleye in the world here, they have it hanging in a restaurant or at their place, and they got this big story. There's a chance that they had it printed. That's crazy. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, a guy could do that. Okay, you want to 3D print me a set of antlers, and I'll have a hide, get my doe tag, and I'll just use that hide and have it done. And everybody thinks that I shot a 250-inch mule deer on the ranch.
Right.
Crazy. It's crazy to even think about that. That's happening anymore. But I guess, you know what's going to happen in some places, because the those PETA people, they're going to be, they don't want the real thing, but if you want a plastic one, go ahead, right?
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't pay too much attention to them folks. So
yeah, well, let's get into the I was always asking this question. Is hunting and fishing becoming like a high dollar thing? Is it looked at, like, I was discussing this with a guy out of Nebraska, and he says in their area, if you're going to be going out and hunting, and that's what you do on the weekends during the fall, or the weekends in the summertime, you go fishing, it's looked at like you're kind of on the higher end of society in that area. Is that where it's going? Is that going to be the tone of, like, in order to hunt and fish, geez, you must have some money? And is that going to be the stigma from here on out? Do you think?
Potentially, but you can still hunt with a budget.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's always gonna cost you some money. I mean, fuel isn't free. Tires aren't free. If you're gonna go any distance and have to stay at a motel or something like that, that's not cheap anymore. But you can tent, you can camp, you can go to, whether it's a Shields or a Walmart or a Dick's Sporting Goods. I don't even know if they sell guns anymore, but a gun store, Mandan Sporting Goods, H&H Guns. you can go buy yourself what I will call a budget rifle, a Savage Axis 2, a Ruger American 2. You can get a scoped package gun in that $500-$600 range. Buy yourself a couple boxes of Remington green and white core lock ammo, cheapest ammo out there you can get, and go hunting.
Yeah.
$30 tag. You can get any tag in North Dakota for $30 as long as you get drawn, and you're set. It's going to cost you $20-$30 for some orange, so you're legal when you're out there. I mean, if you're starting from scratch for $1,000, you can get set up to go out and hunt big game.
Yeah.
You're not going to have range finding abilities. You're not going to have your scope, and might not be the clearest at sun up and sundown because it's going to be a cheaper $150 package scope. You know, there's going to be disadvantages that you have, but you can do it. Or you can go buy a $3,500 carbon barrel custom rifle. You can put a $5,000 scope on there. You can buy a $4,000 pair of range finding binoculars. You can buy a $150 package of 20 of custom ammo. You can have 15 to 20 grand into your setup and go hunting and still not find a deer to shoot.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, it's just, what's your hobby? I'm talking with my father-in-law about it. You know, we've been using his boat in this tournament for many years, and him and I made a deal. He let me use his boat to trade in. I paid the difference, and we upgraded. So now we kind of have this boat together. Even at this 20-year-old used boat that I have, doesn't matter how much fishing I do this summer, I can go to the fanciest restaurant in the world and buy caviar, and the walleye that I feed somebody at my house is going to cost more per ounce than that caviar at that restaurant.
I never thought of that. Wow. Well,
I mean,
you're going to have a gourmet walleye, then you call it gourmet. You got to have the name.
I've got a $22,000 used boat.
Yeah.
You know, I priced out that exact same boat, and it's an aluminum boat. It's not anything extravagant. Doesn't have a 400 horse motor on it or anything crazy. I went and priced out the exact same boat, brand new, same size motor and everything. Right now, if I was going to go buy that boat brand new, it's $90-some thousand.
Yeah, it's crazy. What are new boats going for? Is that about what they are? 90? I know Brent Kimnitz down there in Mobridge, he trades in all the time. I think his were like about 100 or 110 grand for them big Lund boats.
Yeah, you buy a 21 foot glass Lund with a 350, 300, 350, 400 on it. Kicker, trolling motor, graphs, everything. You're going to have 115 to 140 into a brand spanking new 21 foot glass boat.
Wow. And if you're going to have a pickup to pull it, that's getting expensive too now.
Now you can get a Ford Ranger.
Get a Ford Ranger. Never cash flow hobbies and leisure activities, the mayor says.
Nope, not such thing.
So Clay Peterson is messaging me some links here, and NRA member benefits here. I'll just go to their website. And it says here firearm insurance as low as $50 a year, up to $300 million worth of firearms insured. So before taxes and fees, you can apply right there in minutes and check it out. So they do still have the program. That's good to know. They still have something, and if you want more information, you can. Let's see. I got a question for you after the show about horses that we got to get after. We'll cover that in a little bit. Let's see. Got tournaments coming up here. We got the Dakota Walleye Classic, and that's not that far away here, my friend. That's like a month away.
They've actually got a couple tournaments on the lake this weekend. There's an AIM tournament going on.
Okay.
And that's where they don't keep any of the fish. They're pretty popular, especially in South Dakota, where you have a slot limit. So they, excuse me, it's almost like a coyote tournament where you're weighing the dogs. Well, in this case, they're measuring the fish. So they take a picture of that fish on a measuring board and send it to the tournament director, and they release it. And it all goes off of inches. So that's going on in Sakakawea this weekend. I'm wondering if Thomas is maybe fishing that. I didn't call him. Out at Hazen Bay this weekend. Wheelchairs and Walleyes, I believe, is the name of the organization. I'd have to look it up quick, but it's a tournament that started across the area that's geared towards handicapped kids. Beulah Bay has a lift that they put in, I think, either last year or the year before. This week, they installed a brand spanking new lift at Hazen Bay. So if you have a child or an adult and you are handicapped in a wheelchair, limited, can't climb into a boat, there is a lift on Beulah and Hazen Bay now where you can pull the boat up next to this structure, wheel them up on top, and set them right into the boat, and away you go. So they've got a big event out there, groundbreaking ribbon cutting. There was talk that the governor, Kelly Armstrong, might be there, but they weren't sure if he could make it with all the stuff going on with weather. But ribbon cutting ceremony, they're going to have booths and all kinds of things going on at Hazen Bay, and a tournament for the wheelchair folks out there. So a lot of cool things going around on the lake and on the river, and going to head out there after the show and try to do a little fishing myself and see what the event's all about.
Well, you and I were discussing a tournament style that you and I said would be fun, is back to basics, and give them what'd you say, 3 Zebco 33s or whatever packages.
Yeah, two-man team, get the tournament supplied 3 package Zebco Z33s, a package of bare hooks, a package of split shot sinker weights, and a package of 1.5 ounce bottom bouncers, and 3 dozen worms. That's it.
Everybody has the same exact stuff in their boat. Go out and one day fishing tournament, bring them back. That would really test the and you can still, like I said, you can still use your live scope or whatever you want to do, but it would really test to see how good some of these people are.
Can you imagine pulling in a 7, 8, 10, 12 pound fish on one of them old closed faces Z33s, even if it was a brand new? I don't know how that would go. And they come with about I think they come with 10-pound monofilament on them.
It'd be a great time. I think it would be fun.
It'd be a fun good old boys tournament. Get 10 boats together, 20 guys, and try that out. I think it'd be a good time.
Call Zebco and see if they want to sponsor it. That's what we need to do. Step 1.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Like I was telling you.
Send us a giant box of Z33s, please.
Yeah. Well, like I was telling you too, it'd be fun to put something like this together and find that one sponsor that's giving away, like first place is like 50 grand, right? And to see how much interest people would actually have to go back to the basics of where a lot of us started. I mean, I still have my Zebco down in the basement, right?
Yeah, I've got a couple of them on the wall out in the shop too. One of them's got Barbies on it, but it's a Zebco. It's a Z33.
That's what we need for this year's fishing tournament, is bring the Barbie Zebco with.
Come into weigh in with the pole holders and Zebco Barbies in them as we pull up. I like it. That's worth it.
I don't know if anybody has as much fun thinking about crazy stuff as we do here. It's what you do, but it's what you do. All right. We were discussing a lot of different things here today. Did you get in on the deer draw this year? Did you make the deadline? Oh, you didn't. You missed the deadline, didn't you?
I will be bow hunting this year.
Oh, well, that's okay too. We haven't done a really good bow hunt in a long time. I think we need to do that.
Here's the fortunate thing. I actually called Jeb Williams last week when I realized that I missed the draw. I had a moment of panic because Karina, this year, she is eligible for her youth buck tag. Well, I also forgot to put that in. But that application is open until sometime in September.
Oh, okay.
Right before that season starts. Because basically it's like a bow tag. You apply and you get it. It's not a draw. So them kids can still get their youth tag into the fall. Excuse me. What is closed is the youth special unit draw.
I see.
They have to put in for that youth mule deer tag. That is closed. That deadline is the same as the normal draw. So the other fortunate thing that I have with her, because of when her birthday is, she will still be eligible for that tag next year. So Karina is also bow hunting this year, and we will put in for her youth buck tag next year. She's going to take a year off from rifle hunting.
Okay. Well, got to get her into the archery side here. Supposed to also, before we're out of the showtime here, Kelly Armstrong and myself are going to be part of the July 2nd program, the Great American Outdoor Show. So, yeah, we'll be discussing a few things on that as well. So that'll be nice. Good time. I got to see him when I auctioned up in Medora here just a couple weeks back.
Yep.
So good stuff. Good stuff. All right.
That's one thing that Kelly does. He does a nice job of, even as governor, finding the time to still take part in the same benefits and things that we've seen him at for years.
Exactly.
I'm sure he was at the Mule Deer Foundation banquet in Mandan as well.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to have a governor you can walk up and actually have a conversation, and you see them all around. Now, West River, South Dakota deer draw is complete now. And Gene Cox, I don't know if he got drawn or not, but it is complete. And let's see, I'll find out if I need to bow hunt after the rifle results are out. Yeah. They dropped the tag numbers in the North Dakota side of things. They've definitely dropped them down a little bit because we're still building up, man. Of all the places that I go and fence and drive around and check cows, I'm not seeing very much at all, Jesse, but the mama antelope here, the does, they're having their kids. There's those tiny little speed goats running around right now.
I saw quite a few. I went out by the Grassy Butte Fairfield area last week, and just on that little short trip out there and back, I saw a number of baby deer in the creek bottoms, even along the highway, along Highway 200. So I just hope they make it. I hope the numbers rebound. We're hurting.
Yeah. One tag I've never been drawn for. Muzzle loader.
I just saw Gene's comment on the screen. I figured that's where you were going.
Yeah. I apply every year, but I forget about it. I totally space it out. And then I don't know how many points I have right now, if they do that point wise or not. I have no idea. I just always forget about it. And I even bought a muzzleloader specifically to go muzzleload hunting. I've shot more cows with it, with darts, vaccine darts, than I have used it on any animal. And so,
I've never put in for muzzleloader, I guess.
Well, then you'd probably get drawn right away.
Yeah, that's the way it works, isn't it? The person that's 45 years old and has never put in for elk draws their first year.
Yeah. I had a friend, I think was Waylon, was that your sister? She got drawn, or is it somebody else? Elk and moose the first time they put in. I can't remember who it was.
Same year?
Same year.
Oh, man.
First time they ever put in, got drawn two of the big three right away.
Wow.
That's
awesome, but unfortunate. That's a lot of time hunting and a lot of cooler space if you actually fill both days.
A lot of freezer space. And in fact, Wayne Muth, he came down for branding, and he left a couple packages of moose sausage. And let me tell you, that's good eating.
New?
That's good eating, boys. Yeah.
Good.
Jay Berg says, had two bull elk cross in front of me last night by my branding corrals when he was heading home. So they're around. I caught one of the mama cows and cow elk and her yearling or baby dancing in one of my water tanks the other morning. So all kinds of
saw those pictures.
You get all my photos because I got my insurance agent. You get to see everything that happens down here. So that's what happens.
Did they poke any holes in that one, or
no?
Get lucky?
I got lucky on that one. Got them out before. Yep. So all right. Well, I appreciate you coming on. I'm going to end. Stay with me because I got a question about a horse. I'm going to get the answer for Jay. Plus, we got more coming up here in the after hour show. It's going to be short but sweet here. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks, Jesse, for coming on the program. Have yourself a great weekend, everybody. And remember, the daily program can be heard on all these great radio stations that you're listening to me right now. Thank them. And thank you for being along the ride here today. Eat some meat, drink some milk, wear some wool and fur, and support your local farmers and ranchers. Have yourself a great weekend. All right. Thank you, stations. All right. So Jay says, insurance question for the man he looked into peril insurance on his horses. Got a quote, but not listed yet. With storms suddenly going through and finding out may have an expensive horse or two. How soon till covered when list or say yes to policy? There you go.
It should be covered as soon as you tell your agent you want it, but I'm going to tell you right now, your agent's going to be really pissed off if the storm's rolling in at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
and you're texting him and trying to get your shit insured if you want it insured.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So even if they're not in your possession, can you still do? I mean, if I'm saying, okay, I found a horse over in Fargo, and like I'm not going to pick it up till next week, but I already said yes, I'm going to take it, and I paid for it. Can I still get it insured even though if it's not in my possession yet?
Well, you and I talked about this with bulls the other day.
Yep.
You know, you guys buy these bulls at these bull sales. You know, you had a bull you bought end of February, and that thing's not going to get delivered to you till the 1st of June.
Mm-hmm.
But you bought it. You wrote a check. The auctioneer said sold. You wrote the check and paid the sale barn or paid the producer at their private sale. In my mind, you own that bull. So I would want you to put that on your policy.
Immediately.
The day of the sale, you should be sending me that stuff. But
I see.
like you said, most of these producers are guaranteeing you a bull. If something happens to that bull from sale day till they deliver it,
Right.
they're going to replace it with something.
Yeah.
Now, if that breeding stock producer has that rule or agreement or that's known, then that's fine. But the little bit of premium that it costs, I'm not risking that.
Yeah.
Now, since we're talking about guns and boats and everything else, I have a lot of, when's the sports show in Bismarck?
I have no idea.
In January.
Okay.
So all these dealers put all these boats and fish houses and all this stuff into the Civic Center and get everybody to come to town and buy $100,000 pontoons and $50,000 ice houses. Okay? But they're going to store it for you till spring, so you don't got to pull it home in the winter. The day you sign that purchase agreement and put money down on that boat, it is yours.
So if a
they take that
tornado
boat-
comes through and wipes out their dealership,
They take that boat back to River City, and Whalen puts that boat in the back lot, and a tornado comes through that lot March 1st before they've delivered it to you. That's on you. That boat's, you paid for it, and that boat's gone, and they ain't covering that. It's your boat now.
Yep.
The day you buy that boat, it is your responsibility to cover.
Yeah. Okay. Just making sure.
And Wayne made the comment that insurance is the only thing that uses fear to sell you. And not fear. Not fear at all. I got guys that buy brand new $75,000, $80,000 1-ton diesel pickups to pull their hay trailer. I've got 3 brand new pickups in my agency that do not have full coverage. They've got liability because it's required by law, but that operation's big enough, they don't cover that pickup. And let me tell you, Wayne, I make them sign a piece of paper that says, I realize I'm not covering this $80,000 pickup. And I make them sign it and I scan it in because I think they're out of their mind. But that pickup, they're looking at that no different than a piece of equipment. And that same farmer doesn't have most of his equipment covered.
Right.
Because he's got money in the bank, he's got crops, he's not worried about the value of that pickup.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So,
yeah.
I've also got people that have 20-year-old Buick Park Avenues that are only worth $4,500 and they still have full coverage on them because they can't afford that $4,500 to replace that car. So they're using insurance to transfer that risk. They're going to pay a $500 deductible and get $4,000 and be able to go buy a new car or another car. So it's all what you can afford to risk. The only insurance you have to buy is basic auto liability because it's law. And that's to protect the other people that are on the road.
Yep. Well, there you go. All right, man.
Yeah.
I hate to cut you off, but I got to go catch a horse and get going to Rob.
Where are you going?
Rob Brooks.
Rob Brooks? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, when I catch the state record walleye today, I'll shoot you a picture.
It better be on a Barbie Zebco 33. I'll tell you that shit. Have a good one, man. See ya.
You bet. See ya.
All right, YouTubers, thank you for everything. I got to get rolling.